Part of what we're talking about here, part of the way to like defeat this apparatus that as Mark referred to it, so much of what they do, including like their media ops, in efforts to control discourse, but also just like getting people to onboard to stuff when they otherwise wouldn't. It all runs on fear, right? And like all the stuff that happened during COVID, people fell in line because of fear. It's all fear-based, pretty much everything they do. A great way to not fall into that is not be afraid of these people, no matter what psyop they throw at you. And I think this year, election year, not just in the US, but in much of the world, unprecedented fear-based psyops are going to be coming one after the other until they get enough people to comply and acquiesce. And the way to, get around that is to not fall into it. It's the trap, and a lot of it is the media discourse. And I think, the more controlled online discourse becomes, the greater the effort will be to use it to get people to be very afraid of what's happening. Yeah. And if you unplug a little bit and spend more time in like the actual world, you are much less likely to feel that way. And I think that's why during COVID, they wanted so much of our discourse to be online. And then they took even greater control of the online discourse. And we know now, under the guise of election censorship, they're going to clamp down even more on online discourse and lead it in very particular directions. They want Americans in particular to be at each other's throats. Textbook divide and conquer, among other things, though. I mean, they have this whole war on domestic terror apparatus, all this stuff about civil war, and we need this and that. Regular Americans are generally on the same side, and they want to divide everyone, and it's all through fear. And they've been doing this psyop after psyop after psyop, whether it's 9/11, COVID, you name it. I mean, it's all fear-based and wants to alienate you from your local community. Like, again, it's about self-reliance at the local level. That's a big part of the response. Also, getting people, not just yourself, though obviously that's where you start, but making sure that the fear doesn't anchor in to, where you are based. I think that's a big part of it. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, in terms of like this, like in 2 points, what you said earlier, election year, fear-based, divide and conquer is being employed. If you're not for Biden, you should be for Trump. If you're not for Trump, you should be for Biden. Bullshit.
They do this every 4 years. How have people not figured it out?
And we have an example of this because nothing matters, because the FISA reauthorization and the expansion of FISA this week. You have a Republican controlled House, you have a Democrat president, and they're both like, yeah, we're gonna surveil you more.
Same shit, different rhetoric. Only difference, I mean, it's a rhetorical difference that's ultimately meaningless.
And with on the line of like pushing all the discourse digital, like what they just expanded FISA to be able to do is going to be able to give the government the ability to granularly target people that are exhibiting speech that they don't like. Like they just got the ability to literally tell coffee shops, like, you need to give us all your Wi-Fi traffic data so that we can surveil everybody. FISA, which was originally supposed to be targeted towards foreigners.
Terrorists.
Yeah, terrorists. Now it's literally, the government just told your coffee shop they had to give
what Palantir originally was. So Palantir was originally total information awareness, and then they tried to rename it terrorist information awareness, but total information awareness is what they always wanted.
Hey, do you still have your Bitcoin on an exchange? Don't hold your Bitcoin on an exchange. Take it into self-custody. If you're looking for an easy way to do that, we have the BitKey. BitKey is Bitcoin made easy to use and hard to lose. Take the first step. Get your Bitcoin off the exchange. Check out the link in the show notes. That'll get you 20% off your BitKey, or use the code TFTC20.
And that's surveilling everyone for everything. And it's surveilling people at the biological level, like to stop pandemics before they start narrative. That was part of it. It was also about financial surveillance. It was surveilling what you buy at the grocery store. That is literally what they are doing again. But it's a mix of public entities and private entities that are all in these involved in these opaque partnerships. So it's not one clearly defined program at DARPA like it was originally supposed to be. But the goal is to completely erode privacy, to completely surveil everything, and prevent X before it happens. X being literally anything they don't want to happen or say they don't want to happen. So prevent crime before it happens, pre-crime. William Barr, Attorney General under Trump, legalized pre-crime in the United States. It will come. They've set it up, and they want it all to run on your data. They want to prevent, they'll say it's for terrorist attacks, it's for pandemics, it's for crisis X, Y, and Z, it's for climate calamity. We have to prevent it before it happens. It's all algorithmic based, but they can only manufacture consent for that if there's a climate of fear.
Yeah.
Period.
What's that Trevor Moore tweet where he's like, hey, what if, all these spooks discovered, through the MK Ultra program that you can control humans through fear-based tactics, and now they simulate, events in the public to instill fear to like control the masses, ha ha ha. And then, of course, he died, a month later or whatever. But I think that idea of, fear-based control, it's something that we've seen